Track 1 on the album is called Trouble, basically written around this guitar riff I had for a while, which I quite liked. And the song, yeah, it's basically about, why can't everything go the way you want it to go? Why can't everything be how you want it to be? Which most of the time it can't really. Track 2 on the album is called 7:30. So I had like 2 songs for quite a while, and I didn't really know what to do with them. Just 2 ideas for songs. And eventually it occurred to me I could put them together. So it's like the verse and the chorus of 7:30. The verse is from the point of view of a guy who's kind of like traveling around the world, and he's got a lot going on, and he's got this girl he's trying to keep sweet. And there's a girl in the chorus who's just kind of stuck at home. She's been like making food all day. She's like, tea will be at 7:30, don't you dare be late. So it's kind of like a sort of question and answer thing between those 2 situations. Yeah, I think it's one of my favourite ones on the album. Track 3 on the album is called Search Team. I think it's one of my favourite tunes on the album. It's quite a chilled out tune, based around this kind of guitar riff and open D tuning. And the song was written about someone who's kind of losing their way a little bit, kind of like too many late nights. When I listened back to the song, I thought it could easily be about me as well. It's called Search Team. Track 4 is called Minimum of Fuss. Quite hard to say sometimes, Minimum of Fuss. It's the title track of the album. Basically, it's just about being in a situation where you're not quite fully prepared. So you've got to maybe do like a presentation or a gig or whatever, and you haven't had enough time to prepare, and you just kind of thrown in at the deep end, and it's a bit of a stressful song, really. The middle section kind of goes off on one, a bit like just random train of thought. Yeah, that's it. It's Minimum of Fuss. Yeah, so track 5 on the album is called Take the Blame. It's the only co-write on the album. I've done quite a lot of co-writing with other people for other people's releases, but I've not done too much co-writing for my own stuff, so this is one of the first ones I've done. It was written with my friend John Kenzie. So I had an idea for a song which I thought was the chorus, and he came round and said, well, I think that sounds more like a verse. How about this for a chorus? That's how that panned out, and I think one of the darker songs on the album, I think, so yeah, it's good. This is track 6 on the album. It's called Give It Back. It's one of the more sort of playful songs on the album. It's kind of based on, there's a Bob Dylan song called Everything Is Broken, and the verses are basically a list of lots of things that are broken, and in the chorus he says everything is broken. So I was kind of trying to write a song like that. The verses are basically a list of things that have been taken away or stolen, and then the chorus is like give it back. It's just basically fun playing around with words on this one. I got a lot of Jacks in it. I got Jack White, Jack Black, Jack Nicholson and Jack Kerouac. I managed to get Scampi and Peas in the lyrics, which I was pleased about. So yeah, it's just a bit of a fun song, really. So track 7 on the album is called Feels Like Fun. I think it's one of the quickest songs I've ever written, the songwriting process. Basically just kind of like a funky thing with 2 chords for most of the way through. I was just kind of writing the first words that came into my head. So it's just like another fun song, and John Ellis is playing some really funky organ on it, which is really cool. Yeah, feels like fun. So track 8 on the album is called 1,000 Ways to Boogie. It's actually a track I completely forgot I'd written. I was writing a song one day, or trying to write a song, and I looking through the voice memos on my iPhone, trying to find an idea to work on, and I managed to find a fully formed song. The song's all about how I can't dance. So yeah, I found that song fully formed on my iPhone, and then took the rest of the day off. So track 9 on the album is called Pieces. It's probably, like, in terms of when I wrote it, it's probably the oldest song on the album. Yeah, it's kind of about a relationship that's broken up. Yeah, I was playing it for ages, and it wasn't really working for some reason. It was kind of, vocals were sounding a bit kind of whiny. But then when I was in the studio, John said, well, tune your guitar down to a different key. And I did that, and then all of a sudden the song started sounding much nicer. I was really pleased with how it turned out in the end. The last track on the album, track 10, is called Trampoline. It's a track I've been playing for a while, live and busking, and I liked the track, but I wasn't really sure about it. But then when we recorded it in the studio, I think it was Transformed. John Ellis put an amazing piano part down on the Steinway piano, and I think it really helped bring the song to life. And I was really pleased with how it turned out in the end. Yeah, I think the song's about depression. I didn't really realise that when I was writing it. When I look back at the lyrics, yeah, I think that's what it's about. There's some lines in there I really like fill up on stars whenever you can. I almost called the album Fill Up on Stars at one point, but yeah, I decided to call it Minimum of Fuss. So yeah, that's it.
They tell me that you are the tyrant.